What's up, Cancer? Welcome to your August 2021 general reading. This is going to be for you, Cancer, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus signs, but I'm not going to resonate with all of you guys, okay? So definitely check out your other placements. I hope that you enjoyed your season. We have now moved on to Leo season, which means we are in your second house energy, right? So second house is all connected to the money, the resources, the security, all of those things. So money matters is going to be at the forefront this month, but also just in terms of security and value, looking around at your life and looking at kind of weighing up how much am I giving away versus what's being reciprocated to me, right? These kind of questions are going to really start kind of coming up for you guys, whether we're talking about personal things or even just your position at your job or whatever the situation may be. There is this getting clear on value, what it is that you value, what it is that you want, and really recognizing whether you feel like you are being valued by the people around you, okay? But in general, we are dealing with fifth house energy because we are in Leo season. So that is very much connected to your creativity. It is very much connected to your romance, your children, your personal esteem and like how good you feel about yourself. So especially for you, Cancers who are super creative or artsy fartsy, this is a great time for your work with you. Okay. Now we will be having Venus entering Libra, which has a lot to do with your domestic affairs. That's fourth house energy for you guys, right? So that's all about the home. And for some of you guys, I feel like, because looking at these cards, it feels like there's going to be an elevation of a relationship for some of you guys. Whether that's you guys are elevating to being done with something or elevating to growing into something, which I do think it is more about the growth of something. So that has a lot to do with your love and how you love and what you choose to love and what you choose to get close to, right? There will be matters of home that kind of come up in terms of your personal relationships this month and what's possible for you, right? Now Mars will be moving to Virgo, which will give everybody this enormous drive to really like get out there, do all the things, be super busy, be super motivated in terms of work, right? Because we're talking about Mars, which is the drive, and we're talking about Virgo energy, which is all about the work, the daily duties, the routines, the, your physical health, your mental health, all of that stuff. So, lots of driven energy. Lots of good energy in terms of work and all your creative endeavors. And you also be having Mercury that's going to be in your third house, right? When Mercury moves into Virgo. Which Mercury into Virgo can get interesting. For you guys, I think the biggest thing is there'll be moments this month where you might have to watch what you say a little bit. Because I can just kind of see people, especially you Cancers, I could see like you leaking things and you saying things, especially like in your friend circles or like your close community, right? Because we're talking about third house. So this could be within your siblings or like your neighborhood, your neighbor, your, all that kind of stuff, like your close encounters, that there could be things that are said out of emotion this month that don't necessarily ring true, right? It's like one of those things where you're like, oh, I'm so sorry, I was just caught up in the moment. Some of you guys might even experience this month that other people are doing that to you. So just be mindful of that, because that Mercury in Virgo does make everyone look at people and ourselves with a more critical eye. Virgos are attached to perfection. They are Virgo the Virgin. They are, even though they're super smart and they're super, like there's so many good qualities about them, they can be hard to be around, especially if you are someone who's like in a place where you don't have things together the way you want it, right? Because there's like this level of judgment that you may feel, but collectively with Mercury being in Virgo, everyone's just a little bit more spicy with their tongue. It all comes from a good intention of like, I want us all to be great, but that can still be hard. So those are things to keep in mind this month. There's a lot on here about relationships and beginning with that, travel, love. So this is actually, I think, a really powerful month for you guys. Now you guys start off with Four of Cups here. Now, Four of Cups is about being dissatisfied with your options, right? It is about kind of looking at a situation and being like, whatever. But this also can be someone who has had too much of something or had enough of something. You see, this is giving like New Year's vibes, right? Everyone's drinking, having a good time, but homegirl's like, someone's trying to hand her another glass of rosé and she's like, I simply cannot. So whether this is like, let's say if you are a single Cancer and this has to do with like your dating options and people like you feel like you have in your face of like, I'm not interested in all of this. Or even for some of you guys, again, because I do feel like there is this progression that's going to be happening in terms of love for you guys. This could also be like, I'm tired of where we are. I'm tired of my own shit. I'm tired of me getting in the way of my relationships and my fear that doesn't allow them to progress the way that I actually really want them to, right? Because I'm all caught up in my fear, right? Because you also do have the Two of Cups here at the underneath the Four of Cups. So I don't necessarily feel like this is something that you guys are like, I'm tired of these people, I'm tired of these suitors, which absolutely it could be, right? This is a general reading. I'm getting more of this sense of I'm tired of being in my own way when it comes to love. I'm tired of letting fear dictate how I want to move this relationship, right? And again, because Venus will be moving into your domestic sector, there's a lot that's going to come up in terms of overall picture, what you see yourself in for your love life, how you see if you're currently in a relationship. How does this look in terms of our family life? How does this look in terms of our home? What does this do? Like if you have children, what does this do to the kid? Is there something like, do we need to move? There's King of Wands here, right? So these are all things that I think, honestly, Cancer, if this is you that you've been considering, but these are things that are going to come up in a different way this month for you to look at with a different lens. Okay. Now, y'all start out Knight of Cups, Justice, the Fool. I do like this. Knight of Cups, this is the hopeless romantic, right? He's like the poet. He's the smooth guy. He's super loving. He's super like hipster and like, just, it's a nice energy to be around. I see it next to the Justice card, which Justice card is Libra energy. You guys could be connected to a Libra, but this is about, of course, it's about cause and effect. So, when you do something, there's always a cause and effect. But this also has to do with like things working out, like in terms of like justice being served. And justice isn't justice for you. Justice is justice. So wrongs being righted or things coming together. If we're talking about relationships, a lot of this has to do with like, commitments, like serious ones. You see this couple that looks like they're talking to a therapist or some type of counselor. And so for you guys with this Knight of Cups, this can be indicating, again, some type of growth in your personal relationships, some type of coming together in your personal relationships. Some of you guys have some people around you who are very good for you. There's a lot of joy there. There's a lot of laughter. There's a lot of love. It feels very good. But again, there may be some fears that may have gotten into your way of going to the next level. But I think that August, it gives you something to consider, right? And then you've got the Fool card, which we love. This is the first card of the Major Arcana. This is all about taking the risks. This is all about the new cycle of doing something new. And when I say taking risks, like heavy on the taking risks, right? Of course, if you've been following my channel, you know there's so many cards in the deck that indicate endings and new beginnings. But none talk about the risk factor that goes into it as much as the Fool. It's literally taking that leap of faith. And again, it feels like some of you guys have been struggling with some fear, maybe some anxiety about what that may look like for you. And it feels like this month you're kind of taking that on. So I'm excited to see how that goes. Because again, it's almost like this energy of like, I'm just tired. I'm tired of my shit. I'm tired of my fear. I don't want any more of this. This feeling that she feels, this drunk feeling, this sick feeling, this I don't know what to do feeling, unsure feeling. I think for a lot of you what it is, it's like the confusion. Tired of the confusion, tired of the back and forth, and just being able to take that next step, even though it's scary. Now, you've got the Four of Cups again. that comes out with the Tower. Ooh, but look, I did this to clarify the Justice card. So maybe you guys might find that this isn't a relationship that you've been wanting for yourself. Like I said, for some of you guys, this feels like an elevation of relationship. And I'm going to be honest, it really does. But for some of you guys, this could be the end of like you figuring out that maybe this isn't working for you. Yeah, this is a nice guy, but that doesn't mean that he's my nice guy. You know? And if this is about maybe things that you've been working on within your relationship that you've been trying to have these talks and back and forth things on, this could be the time where you guys actually start putting this into real action to see new results. Like if you're complaining about something, right, and something's not working, but like let's say there hasn't been any action done, you know, in the past. So it's like, of course it's not going to work. Of course nothing's going to change. Nobody's changing anything. But the Fool indicates full change, right? So even if you are in a relationship that you consider that you're still trying to be with, like let's say this Justice thing, like this is really a thing. Like let's say I really do want to be with this person. I really do want to, but maybe you're just tired of like the fears that come along with it. Especially if this is like a distance, you know, a person at a distance or something, because knights often are, you know, they go on journeys. They're always on a mission. They're always about that action. They're always trying to discover the next new thing. Now, a Knight of Cups is more connected to his emotions, right? So he's really trying to find the fulfillment, find the love, find what makes him happy. But it feels like there's been some blockages that, look, whether you go for it or not, they're coming up this month for you to make the decision of if you want to move forward in a new way, this new relationship, or if you want to separate. We've got the Four of Swords here. Four of Swords is about taking the time to be alone, right? Is about doing the meditating. It is about getting close to source. It is oftentimes, you know, Four of Swords follows Three of Swords. So this could indicate like a bad breakup or something that happens. And this is the time where you get like the rest and relaxation, but like also your healing. So some of you guys may be feeling that you are wanting to separate from a certain toxic situation and taking the time to do so. Some of you guys, this Four of Swords literally speaks about you getting clear on what it is that you want. If you don't know the next step, then maybe, you know, meditate on it. Pray about it. Ask Source for help with it. But there's definitely some changes that are happening in your relationships, Cancer, this month, good or bad. And let's say if you guys have been on the end of, hey, we've been kind of struggling, then this might be where like it's addressed and like dealt with the way it should have been. And if this is like in the sense of like, oh, yo, I've been in this situationship or it's cute or whatever and I really like them, but you know, we've been just avoiding these important talks of like moving on to the next step, then that's coming up. Either way, whatever relational frictions you guys may have been having this month, it feels like it comes full circle and it comes up. Now, following, you have Eight of Wands, you have King of Cups, you have King of Swords, you've got two kings. Now, I definitely see some travel here. This Eight of Wands, this is your environment. This does indicate travel. This does indicate communication. I do like that. So some of you guys, this could be about you taking a trip, taking time to get away. Some of you guys, this is about you guys communicating those things that you need to communicate, been wanting to communicate. Maybe you're dealing with a fire sign person or someone who has a lot of fire in their chart because it is Wands. But this is communication, and I feel like this communication is coming to you. I also want to say now with that said, this communication, because it feels like the communication's coming your way. This could also be, and going back to this Justice card, you could be dealing with someone who on their end, they're starting to feel a little bit of separation because maybe there hasn't been communication. Although things have been good, although you guys enjoy each other's time, it just feels like there's... You got the Four of Cups twice. I can't deny that there's some elephant in the room that needs to be addressed. And it feels like this month gives you that chance. Strength card. Leo season, Leo card. Strength comes when there's something we need strength for. Strength is victory. feel like this, let's say if there's been things you've been needing to talk about with your partner, I don't feel like this is going to, it may not be the easiest. It may be a little bit uncomfortable. Again, that Mars in Virgo, Mercury in Virgo makes us a little bit more critical of ourselves and others. So it may be something that initially hits wrong or comes off wrong, but the outcome is a success. The outcome, it's worth it. It's worth it. And some of you guys might even be on the side of, I don't want this relationship anymore. But it isn't even until you have this real talk and like give the relationship a real chance and real dialogue that you realize maybe it wasn't what you thought. Because I feel like some of you guys, some of the drama or the worry is really kind of more in your head than, or in your partner's head rather than, you know, being something actually here. Whatever it is, you guys are addressing this month. Now, with the King of Cups, you've got the Five of Cups. King of Cups is your energy, right? It's water energy. King is the most mature of his suit. He's very, very, very emotionally intelligent. He's very kind. He's very patient. He knows how to ride the waves, big or small. He has the Five of Cups here, which is kind of like a different type of energy in terms of Five of Cups feels some type of guilt. Five of Cups usually has something that they need to get over, is the big kicker, right? Because they're too worried about these 3 cups that have spilled that they are not even realizing there's 2 cups ahead of them. They're not even realizing that they have a bridge ahead of them. So there like I said, for some of you guys, this might indicate some type of guilt or some type of feeling alone or some type of, something might happen that makes you guys kind of wish that things happened differently. There can be some type of a breakup or separation this month. I mean, that's absolutely popping up as a possibility. I do feel, though, like those of you guys who are in that situation, you already know going into this reading if that could even be you. What I do know, though, is even if you are deciding to move forward in the relationships that you're in, there's something of the past, Cancer, that you got to let go of. And it could be in the past with this current person that you're dealing with, or this could just be like your past experiences. Cancer is very connected to nostalgia, which is beautiful and kind of troubling. Because Cancer, you can get so lost in your head of like past stuff that it makes it really hard to move forward in the future, right? So there is something that needs to be addressed of the past, Cancer. And I suggest that you just say it with your chest and let that be that. You've got the King of Swords. So, of course, this King of Swords can be an outside influence. This can be someone around you, right? Because it is sword energy, Aquarius, Gemini, and Libra. And you did get the Justice card, so it definitely can be like a Libra or something. But the thing with the sword energy is, or King of Sword energy, is he's very decisive. He's very direct. He has very good communication skills. Like I said, there's something with this piece of, yes, staying in that compassionate, loving energy that you guys already naturally possess, but also being able to say the things that really need to be said, right? Because this energy of like holding on to something in the past is just not conducive for moving forward. As you release things that are bothering you or concerns, and what you do is you bring yourself to this level of healing. Star card. Star is all about healing. It's all about hope and healing. It's all about being seen. It's all about feeling vulnerable, right? They're naked. This woman is naked. Any type of like, anytime you see like naked people on a card, it is implying that there's a level of vulnerability that needs to be had. And I think that you guys are a little bit scared of that because understandably so. Cancers are one of those signs, good fucking people, but they get burned a lot. So I can understand where you could be apprehensive in moving forward, but it seems like for some of you guys, you're getting in your own way of a connection that's really, really loving for you. And the way that you're getting in the way of it is just by simply not addressing things that are on your mind because maybe you think they'll work themselves out, or, you know, maybe I'm tripping. Maybe you are fucking tripping, but then just so why not just say it? You know what I mean? Because I feel like whoever's opposite of you, again, for some of you, they've been waiting to have these conversations. I can almost sense like there's irritation because they're like, yo, hello, when are we going to talk about certain things that we've just been leaving on the table because you're too uncomfortable to talk about it? And how is that fair? Right? So there are things that can be addressed, will be addressed, especially in terms of your relationships, because we are dealing with all of that stuff, like I said, in your domestic sector. So a lot of shifting that can be done, but there's something that you guys need to let go of. I would suggest having the conversations that need to be had. Let go of that so you can get this, which this is like the bliss, right? Now, you've got the partnership card, okay? So allow healthful, supportive partnerships into your personal life and career, and both parties benefit as a result. You are receiving help from heaven and from a person who brings needed skills and resources. This is about good partnerships, and that really has been the highlight of this reading. There's some type of shift that needs to happen in partnerships, whether you guys are leaving something to be, just leaving it alone, moving on, or whether you're saying the things that need to be said so that you guys can figure out how you want to move forward in your partnerships. That's where free will comes in. And it's up to you, right? We can't control the fated things that come into our life, but we can control the little details of it. We can control how we handle said people or things, right? And you've also got religious factors. So it says your love life is influenced by your religious upbringing and spiritual path. Maybe some of you guys maybe there's like, you're dating someone who is culturally different. Maybe their religious outlook is different. And even with this religious card, it doesn't always necessarily talk about religion to me. To me, it more ties to tradition, because most of us believe in what we believe because it's a part of our lineage, our tradition. This is what my family believes in. This is what I was taught. So there's just like this layer of respect that's put on it, even if you don't believe it, right? It's like, okay, but so this could be about tradition. This could be about religion. And for some of you guys, challenging that, what that means for you, what that looks like for you. Maybe you guys are dating someone who has completely different views and you're wondering, like, does this work long term? But again, you'll never know if you guys don't talk about it. So go ahead, talk about it. Again, be careful. This month can bring a lot of sensitivity in terms of the communication. You guys might find times where you end up blurting things that you didn't mean to say out of, having a moment. So just be mindful in how you move. But I'm really curious to see how this is going to work out for you guys. I'm curious to see how this is going to work out for me. Being a Cancer rising, this kind of feels familiar. So I hope that was helpful for you guys. I love you so much. If you want a personal reading, reach out to me at shesvibeytarot@gmail.com. You can go to my About tab. I've got my menu of services and pricing. Look that over. If you'd like to schedule a live reading, you could absolutely do that yourself. The link that's provided, okay? So Cancer, I love you. And I will see you soon. Bye.